Today we are going to discuss about the boot process of RHEL OS, Red Hat Linux Operating System OS. So these are the steps we have to understand one by one to understand the boot process of Linux. So friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment. So first step is power on. So how we can power on? Either we can go to the physical server and we can power on the server, or we can use the management console to power on the server. If it is a virtual machine using the cloud portal or the server console, we can start the server. If it is a virtual machine, once we power on the server, it will check for the BIOS or UEFI. So what is the BIOS or UEFI? BIOS and UEFI both are the firmwares, and these are the small softwares. So if I'll show you, you can see this is the BIOS screen, and here legacy and UEFI, these are the firmware, and legacy is the BIOS and UEFI is the another small firmware software that starts after the power on the server. So what is the work? Work of the UEFI and BIOS are to start the post. So what is the post? Post means power on self test. That means it will test all the components connected to the server, all the components available in the server. So what are the components? Components are CPU, RAM, storage devices, keyboard and mouse. It will self test. It will check all the components connected to the servers. And if you found all the components are connected properly, it will check for the bootable device. So what is the bootable device? Bootable device may be the DVD, hard disk or USB. It will try to find out the bootable device. According to our configure setting, it will go to the bootable device. If we will configure the hard disk as the first boot device, then it will go to the hard disk and it will try to detect the operating system. Okay. The third step is bootloader, GROB2. The firmware loads the GROB2 from the boot disk. So here boot disk is the hard disk where OS is already installed. And from the boot disk, it will check for the kernel, Linux kernel, from the configuration file grob.cfg or grob. Okay, and here you can see this is the grob screen. Here you can see two kernels are available. If you can want, we can also set the default kernel. Here this is the default kernel. If we want, we can go to the second kernel. We can also boot the server. If we will not interrupt, it will start with the first kernel, that is the default kernel. Okay. So first step is power on, then BIOS or UEFI. Third step is bootloader, then the kernel loading. Kernel will load. And what is the work of the kernel? Kernel will initialize and it will load into the memory. Kernel will load into the memory and it will initialize the CPU, memory, device drivers and file systems. It will initialize all these things. Then it will start the INIT RMFS stage. What is INIT RMFS? It is the temporary root file system loaded to the RAM. It will load the root file system temporarily to the RAM to speed up the boot process. Then it will check for the drivers. Then it will check for the real root file system. Then it will hand over the control to the actual system. So what is the actual system? Actual system is system D, and system D is the fast process. It is a fast process started by the OS. And what is the work of the system D? System D will start the system CTL, that is the target. It will check for the target. What is the default target configured in the server? And there are three type of target by default you can configure. One is rescue target, multi-happen user target, graphical target. These are the three target we can configure. According to our default setting, it will start that target using the systemctl command. If in my server graphical target is configured, then GUI mode will start. If multi-happen user.target is selected, then test mode will work start or command prompt will start. Here you can see in my virtual machine, test machine, the command prompt is started. There is no GUI, graphical user interface or GUI desktop is not here. That means I have configured the multi-happen user.target. To show you, I have to log into the server. Now use the command systemctl get-default. You can see multi-user.target. That's why GUI desktop is not available, only command prompt is there. Okay, so systemctl loads the target and it will display the login screen or login prompt. It may be GUI prompt or it may be command prompt. I hope you can understand. So quickly we have to remember that first step is BIOS or UEFI, then grab to kernel, init, RMFS, systemd, target and login. So these are the steps you have to remember for the boot process of Linux operating system. I hope this video is useful for you. Please subscribe my channel. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Thanks for watching.